We have to.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Tony.
Walaikum salam. And
Thursday
greetings
Night
to
Talk.
everyone. Greetings to everyone tuning in.
I know it look odd. Hold fast. Our co-hosts are in a humbling position at this moment, and they would not be joining us tonight. But with further ado, this is a continuation of something that was brought to you. Look, was like saying, hey, we need him back. We was like, okay, we're gonna bring him back. Because it was a lot of unanswered questions, right? That he did not answer, and the audience wanted answers, right? Because we have to learn how to accept our own and be ourselves. But sometimes it starts with self, but it also starts with the land of our own. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it to Brother Tony because we're going to have some unfinished questions with some solutions and some great answers for you to take with you tonight. Okay.
Let's begin properly, Sister Kalila.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, the one God to whom holy praises are forever due, the Lord of the worlds, who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. I am forever thankful to Allah for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I thank them both for the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the beautiful and awesome guidance that he is giving us today. We should cherish it each and every day, because every day that he is among us, that is mercy and grace and love from Almighty God, Allah. In their divine names, I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. And greetings to everyone tuning in to the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives. This particular program and the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives was established soon after the Criterion message by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan back in 2020, specifically July 4th, 2020, with the idea in mind to guide our people to safety. At one time, we were guiding our people to safety about the facts and truth and reality of a experimental, I wouldn't give it the credit of being called a vaccine, inoculation, if you will, which, you know, that's another story in itself. But the idea in mind of guiding our people to safety is multifold, not just dealing with health, but also dealing with our finances, dealing with just preparing ourselves for life on different levels. Our people are suffering from various ailments. We are not as successful as we should be. And so we need to be guided. And so we, as the followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we believe and we know that we receive great guidance, and it is our mission to guide fallen humanity, guide our people so that they can be successful. And so tonight, our scope and focus will be through the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, which is, we had it on the screen. There, it's back. Ministry of Trade and Commerce, among the 9 ministries. This one focuses, of course, on the principle of doing business and doing it right. The Ministry of Trade and Commerce is responsible for the growth and development of the business and economic interests of the society. This ministry is dynamic in nature, relying on the input of consultants with experience and success in business and economic. And we have that tonight with our brother who will be brought on. It analyzes the economic state of the community and develops programs and policies for growth and stability on the basis of the needs of the community. It translates skills, talents, and interests of the community into viable revenue streams and works with the Ministry of Education to encourage entrepreneurship. And tonight, we are going to be receiving an education from our brother who will be bringing on for part 2 on own or be owned. Please welcome, with a great round of applause, our beloved brother, Brother Michael Shabazz.
Woo! Save us, Brother Michael. Save us. We need our own land. How can we do it?
We need our own land, our own place of abode. How can we get land of our own, beloved brother?
We need a slice of peace, a slice of our own.
That's right. Ooh,
slice of heaven with our family.
That's right.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Thank you for having me on for part 2. I had a great time last time I was here with you, and the time just went by so fast.
So fast.
And so,
we were on for over 2 hours, beloved.
Exactly.
I didn't get a chance to, I wasn't able to fit the entire title underneath there, but I was like, well, I mean, this is 7th Region Coalition to Save Lives.
Right.
I'm the 7th Region Real Estate Consultant.
Come on. Right.
Officially, that's what you are. Region among your multiple hats, my brother.
Yes.
Right. Praises be to Allah. So let's just get started. Let's just get right into just the meat, potatoes, and all the stuff that's, hard to digest, but it's real because we have to deal with it. So let's deal with the interest rates, right? Interest rates have went up multiple times recently, which affects the amount of loans. What are some ways that we can increase our borrowing power?
Oh, wow. So, yes, interest rates have gone up. Over the last 2 years, you've seen interest rates go as low as 2.5% for some people, depending on the credit.
Right.
Now it's up to 6%, sometimes 6.5%, depending on the loan type of loan you're getting and your credit and your credit history. That's a great question because that's one of the best ways to leverage high prices, right? So prices are higher now, but how do we leverage the funds that we do have using interest rates so that we can get our monthly payment down to a reasonable amount?
Right.
One way to do that is to do what's called buying down the interest rate. This is when you give the lender extra money, in order to buy down the interest rate. Usually it changes and varies. There's a lot of different factors. And at whatever time you buy down the interest rate, your lender will tell you how much it costs to buy it down. Usually the more you buy it down, the more it costs. But a good rule of thumb is 1% of the purchase price will usually buy you down about 0.25%. not a full percentage, a
Mm.
quarter percentage.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Another way is, of course, is to put money down. If you can put 20% down, then you're able to get a loan that doesn't have mortgage insurance, also called PMI, which can save you anywhere between $200 and $500 per month, depending on the price of the home. So those are the major two ways that you can kind of reduce your monthly, right? Using interest rates in particular. Also, if you have a great credit score, the better your credit score, the lower your interest rate as well. So that's a good start, taking care of your credit.
Excellent. Excellent.
So it was key because everyone actually jumped on the credit. Okay, what does that look like? How can I determine what my credit is? What is good credit? What is bad credit? Can you kind of feed off of that? Because a lot of times we don't have an idea. We say, okay, well, we got a car, but we don't have a home, or we've been renting, but our cards are maxed out and we haven't paid them for years, and then all of a sudden they're trying to do these settlements. But how feasible would that be as it relates to credit, good credit, no credit, or so forth? Can we kind of expound on that, and then we can kind of take it to another octane?
Absolutely. Listen, there's not a time that I talk about real estate that I don't talk about credit.
Right.
Why? Because it's one of the major impediments that keeps our people out of home ownership.
Wow.
I would say it's probably the number one reason why we're not homeowners.
Right.
Brother Michael, we're so affected that we've gotten used to paying. I mean, we're on survival mode, many of us. Right. And we've gotten used to like doing this juggling act when it comes down to bills.
Absolutely.
And we find ourselves paying things late. When we make late payments, that seriously affects our credit. Right. What do you suggest to someone that may find themselves just in survival mode like that?
Well, one, we have to increase our credit. Increase our income. We have to increase our credit too, right? But sometimes we just don't make enough money, right? Sometimes people say, well, you don't save. Well, if you make money, by the time you get done with your basic needs, there's not much left. There's nothing to save, right? So the only answer is that we have to produce more income. Many ways we try to produce more income by getting a second job or a job and a half, or kind of doing things on the fringe, doing things that wow, I just brought something to mind. Doing things on the fringe, and sometimes getting ourselves into trouble doing things that we shouldn't be doing, that are unethical or illegal, because we're in such survival mode. When we really should, as the minister taught us many years ago, sometimes we just got to go back to school. That doesn't always mean, going to a 4-year college. That means going to school and get a certificate, right? Where you can double and triple your income in 6 months or a year. Just like I went to real estate school, right? I went for 10 days. 10 days, right?
Right.
When I was teaching, I made $50,000 a year as a teacher. And I was after teaching for 10 years with a master's degree. I doubled that income my first year of real estate.
Wow.
My first year after going to school for just 10 days. There's a lot more to it, right? There's learning on the job, things of that nature. But we definitely have to increase our income. As far as credit, we just don't know the rules of the game. We weren't taught. Our parents didn't teach us many times. And so we're trying to play a game. It's like trying to play basketball or football or baseball, and you don't know the rules of the game. You never win.
Right.
You never win. So a couple of quick rules to the game when it comes to credit.
Right.
One, most of us, not that we have bad credit, it's just that we don't have any credit at all, right? We were taught that use cash, and you get into this cycle that Brother Tony was just talking about. And what we don't understand is that when we don't have credit, we usually pay more money for the same goods and services. For instance, coming up soon next year is Savior's Day in February, right? And so very soon, we'll probably get an announcement where it's going to be at. Most likely it'll be in Chicago or something of that nature.
Right.
And those of us that have credit, we're going to book our tickets right away, right? We're going to go online. We're going to book our tickets 6 months, 7 months, 8 months in advance. We're going to swipe that credit card. Right. Those of us that don't have credit, we're going to start planning. Well, the next paycheck, I got to put on the rent. The next paycheck, I got to pay for this. And so the paycheck right before Savior's Day, right? I think I'll be able to buy the tickets. But we all know when you buy plane tickets right before the day that you're going to fly, you're going to pay 2 times more than if you bought it in advance, right? So we end up paying more for goods and services because we don't have credit.
Here's another thought, Brother Michael, is just if we know certain things are coming up, do we prepare for those kind of things? It could be Savior's Day. Those of us that are not registered in the Nation of Islam, we have things every year that come up.
Absolutely.
And it's, we have to save and organize our own fundraisers in order to prepare for the things that we love. We say we love them, so we have to prepare. It can't come from our regular income. It has to come from preparing. There are people, we should be going out, making friends, and out of our friends, there will be, if we come up with a good product, our friends that know that we are about good things. We want the upliftment of our people. We want the upliftment of the community. They will support us, and so we have to prepare. We can't be on this survival mode, and in truth, Brother Michael, in order to become successful homeowners and investors in real estate, we cannot simply be in survival mode and expect to be successful.
No, we have to have some disposable income, right? So they call it ICE in the lender community. They call it ICE. You need income, credit, and they say equity, which is really savings, right? Those are the 3 ingredients you need to be a homeowner: income, credit, and savings. So credit is the major impediment, though, right? Credit is the major impediment. We need to have 3 to 4 credit cards. If you don't have any credit cards, and some people are going to cringe, right? But my job is to help people get into houses as fast as possible, easy as possible. So I give people advice like this. Look, go on Credit Karma, right? It's free. Get yourself a Credit Karma account, okay? When you get on there, it's going to show you everything. If you're delinquent in anything, right? Start settling those bills. Start paying them off. It's also going to recommend to you credit cards that you can apply for based on your credit score. It's going to rank them excellent, good, fair, or poor. Apply for the ones that are excellent and good. If your credit score is really bad, it may be a secured credit card, but you have to start somewhere. All right. But get 3, 4, 5 of them to start. When you get those credit cards, as soon as you get it, on the back of it is going to be a web address. Go to that web address, register for that credit card, right? And then set it on automatic payments immediately. This way you never miss a payment, right? The minimum needed every month is probably only $20, right? Out of your bank account automatically. Then you never want to charge up more than 30% on your credit lines. So if you have a credit line of $1,000, you should only be charging up to $300 on it, period.
That's right.
That's why you want to get more credit. This way you can utilize more of it. You want $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. The more you can get, the better. right? Because once you start getting really good credit lines and you get into real estate investment, don't try to get in real estate investment until you invest in yourself. That's buy your first home first. Don't call me talking about you want to be a real estate investor and you didn't buy a home first for yourself, right? First invest in yourself. But those credit cards are also called your business partners. I bought my first house using a cash advance from a credit card. Use that as a down payment, my first house, right? So when you got huge lines of credit, then you can leverage them. You can leverage them to your benefit as down payments, etc. Fix up, etc. Credit is very important. Don't avoid it. Don't try to get around it. There's all these quick schemes, and hey, if you go with us and you pay us $400, we can get the bad credit dropped off and things of this nature. Just do it the right way.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So when you say doing it the right way, so what does that look like if somebody said, you know what, I was in college, I was getting all these secure or unsecured credit cards, they were just handing them to me, maxed them out, 5 years later, I'm trying to establish a house because, now, I have this partner now, and we are now saying, hey, we're tired of living, in an apartment. We want to buy a house. How do we go about, going step by step in order to face and confront what we have did in our past in order to make our credit satisfactory to get in the house?
Honestly, we have to keep our word bond. And our bond is life, right? Tell the truth regardless of who and what. If you owe the debt, pay the debt.
Right.
Call the people, call the collection company, say, listen, I don't got the money now, and you can make a settlement, right? If you owe $1,000, but you only have $500, you may negotiate a deal where they can get that taken off for $500. They'll do a settlement. If not, maybe you only got $25 a month that you could pay them. Whatever you can afford to pay them, give them a little bit at a time per month to eventually get it off, right?
Right.
Maybe instead of, when you get that tax return, instead of, taking a vacation or buying clothes or buying a new car, take care of that debt that you got and knock it out.
Right.
You'll benefit a lot more from being able to be in a new home and elevating your credit status. You can't lose.
It goes back to what are you prioritizing in your life? And investing in a good home that is a sound teaching that we are taught in the Nation of Islam.
That's right.
That we should focus on making that reality happen. But for many of us that we just struggle with credit, Brother Michael, are there any programs out there that don't factor in credit too much, that many of us may not know too much about, that would benefit us?
Not really. No. Nope. There's no way around it.
Try to face it head on.
There are because if there was, Brother Tony, right, everybody would try to do that instead of just taking care of your credit issues. Just take care of it, right?
Right.
Just head it on. We would try to circumvent the system, right? We would try to get the hookup, right? No, just do it the right way. Let's do it the right way. There are some loan programs. I'm not going to tell you the names of them, but there are some loan programs where credit score doesn't matter. But they do have what's called credit character, where basically means you can have a credit score of 500, right? But if you don't have anything delinquent or in collections, they will give you a loan, right? Because it does, once again, that kind of scenario doesn't mean that you have bad credit. It just means that you don't have any credit. That's the reason the credit score is low. So there are some credit programs out there. I'm not letting people know the name of them, right? Because we'll mess it up, right? we'll try to go out and do it on our own and mess it up. I've seen it. Okay. Like if you want more details on those type of loans, just give me a call and I'll work
Yes.
through it.
Go with a professional. He will inform you about what to do and how to do it.
Because there's other details there, right? And I can't, it's not cookie cutter. Everyone is different depending on the situation.
Right. And speaking of cookie cutter, there is a program that was brought to my attention. This program is occurring in several cities across America. It's called Candy's Dirt. And it, to me, from what I have heard about this program, it specifies that when you get on this loan, when you pay this loan off, and let's say you happen to pass away, you're not able to pass this along to your children or create a legacy for your children. It goes back to the state. Can you do you know a little bit about the pros and the cons of this loan?
I thought I did, but I never heard of what you're talking about right there, right?
Yeah.
I heard
yeah, because I was when I heard about it, I was like, really? Is that what they're doing? It seems like modern day slavery.
Yeah. I mean,
if that is
info,
right.
there is a loan. I know our brother Hakeem, who is with Bank of America, who has a great loan program. I mean, they pay you down payment, closing costs, a minimum credit score. You need a minimum credit score. There's no mortgage insurance. The only limitation that I did see with the loan was that you did have to buy in a certain area, right? You had to buy in the Miami-Dade, Broward area, I believe it was. Miami-Dade area. So it was limited on the properties you can get, but it's a very, very good loan product. The one you're speaking about, sister, that one's new to me. And that's the way real estate is, right? Like there's certain type of loans that become available depending on the circumstances, and sometimes they go away and then they come back, right? Sometimes loans are available, but you can't use them in that part of the market. For instance, the market that we just passed, where you basically had to pay above appraisal price, right?
Right.
And you couldn't ask for any closing costs and things of that nature. No one was accepting first-time home buyer programs. No one. Like you were wasting your time the last 2 years if you thought you were gonna give someone an offer talking about I'm a first-time home buyer program. Just wasn't happening.
You had to have cash, and that's it.
Conventional loan, but you had to pay your own closing costs, and and so when you submit an offer, right? One of the things that you have to give to the seller is the type of financing that you're getting. And the seller looks at all the financing from all the buyers, potential buyers, and ranks them. When you talk about down payment assistance program, that ranks on the bottom, right? Those are the least likely that a seller is going to pick that type of financing because it's a lot more what's called overlays, a lot more rules and restrictions, and a lot more ways that the deal could fall through with the financing. The most favorable one, of course, is cash. Then after that is conventional loans. And then after that, maybe like VA loans or some kind of special loans in there. Then an FHA, and then those down payment assistance programs on the bottom.
Yeah, because just wanted to also share some light basically on this loan, which is to me, and again, you can all do your research because like I explained to the person that presented it to me, everything again falls into what is groomed or custom to your what situation that you're in, right? It was to the point where my husband, of course, makes more money than me. However, I had the better credit.
Mhm.
right? So it was more so, okay, I had to make sure, and then I have a couple of other businesses that, that made it kind of, combined to where I
Mhm.
was able to get the loan. But of
Mhm.
course, my husband paid all the bills.
Mhm.
But it was
Mhm.
to the point where you have to be able to offset what, like you said, Brother Michael, if you're not making the money that you need in order for you to get a feasible home, or you cannot vouch for your income that's coming in, then chances are your debt to ratio will be a little off as it relates to trying to buy a home. So it's important that you know what you're getting in before you're getting it. And that's why it's important, like Brother Michael said, to talk to a professional.
Absolutely.
Don't try to go and do this heads on. I'm telling you,
Why would you?
don't.
Why
well,
would you?
because a lot of people, like you had, I think you shared a story with me, shared it with us one time when you had a situation where a sister thought that she was buying a home with cash,
She did buy
and
it.
well, she did, yeah,
She did buy it.
allegedly, right? She
She did
did
buy it.
buy
She
the
did own it.
Mhm.
Yes.
right, but it had it had liens on the house
For
that
about
she had to act
150,000.
right, that she had to pay off in order for her to call it her home again. So she actually bought debt.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You
She
know,
she she paid $50,000 for $150,000 worth of debt.
that's scary. So that's why it's important to um, go to a professional. And to
Mhm.
be honest with you, it's one of those type things when you were talking about professionals too. I would not go to uh, a rookie, that's on the bench versus Jordan, that's
Right.
guru of this. You
That's
want to
right.
go with somebody that's pretty much has an idea and has has kind of mastered the industry as it relates to real estate. So with that
Absolutely.
being said, Brother Michael, you know, since we talked about these loans and things of that nature, can we talk about, some of the impediments? The first thing I know for a fact one of our impediments is fear.
Mhm.
That's definitely a fear factor. But what are some of the impediments to home ownership and how to overcome those impediments?
Oh man. I mean, that fear is a big one, right? And I would call it
Mhm.
anxiety over home ownership, or
Right.
some aspect of the process of a home ownership. Um, Basically, we think wrong about real estate. The
Mm,
way we think about real estate and our finances is wrong.
mm,
Um, and so we have to rewire ourselves, right? Because somewhere we've even been taught, or we had some sort of trauma that doesn't allow us to move forward in the process of being a homeowner, even though we know it's good for us, right?
right, right.
Um, Even though we know it's good for us. So one, right now, if you're renting, right? Let's look at this. You are literally hemorrhaging money every month, right? And
Mm,
we simply want, by becoming a homeowner, you're simply redirecting the money you already spent from benefiting someone else to benefiting yourself.
right.
You're not spending more money, you're just simply redirecting the money towards your benefit, right? To your benefit and your children's benefit, right? So let's get over the mental thing about, you know, buying a home, right? Let's get over the
Right.
mental thing about my credit's not good enough. You can fix credit in 30 to 60 days.
Mm,
All you gotta do is focus on it.
right.
That's right.
Right.
Um, let's get over the thing talking about, I hear some people talk about, hey, but what about that 30-year debt?
Mm, right.
Most
Oh,
people
yeah,
think
that's
that
a
debt
that's
is
a good
slavery.
one. Right. I'm old. So
Right.
I don't need a
old.
house. Right.
I'm old. I already rented for 40 years.
Right.
I'm gonna keep on renting.
Right. That's all I know.
I'm like an
So,
old Negro
Brother Mike,
slave.
Brother Michael, with that, what's the mindset shift that we should have? I mean, we get scared when we think of a 30-day, not 30-day, but 30-year loan. I don't know if I'm gonna be on planet Earth for another 30 years.
Well, what's the alternative? Paying rent for 30 years?
Mm.
What's the alternative? You've been,
Right.
I mean, like most people that you have an argument like that, I ask them, well, how long you been paying rent? Well, your whole life since you've been a young adult, right? 20 years, 30 years, maybe longer. Are you going to keep doing that? That's insanity, right? There's no argument you can give me where renting is better than ownership. There just isn't, right? So we just have to get over ourselves, right? One of the things, especially those of us that are in the nation and those of us that are may not be too familiar with the Nation of Islam, our nation, our minister, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, financially, he basically rebuilt the nation by himself for the most part, right?
Right.
With very few people helping him in the beginning,
Right.
in the late 70s. Okay. He, at that time, owned a home and he got a second mortgage on his home to open up the building that we now call the Final Call building.
Right.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Which became the financial engine that restarted the nation financially, not spiritually, but financially. Right. And today, from that, right, imagine if the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan said, you know what? I'm good with my family living in a flat, as he would call it.
Right.
I'm good renting. Imagine he never bought a house. Then he wouldn't have that equity to tap into to restart the nation financially. And today we have approximately 140 mosques all across the country, internationally. We have 2 farms, right? We had the Final Call building. We bought back our national headquarters, and it goes on and on and on, right? All because the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan dipped into his bank called a home, right? And put his own personal finances on the line to rebuild our nation. Allahu Akbar.
Yes, sir.
Allahu Akbar. Wow. Can you go into more impediments that we face, especially as Black people? Because a lot of times, again, we have these jobs that we feel like, okay, this is the all in all, and we're not even trying to get extra income. So, because I really want people to understand, and because I was like that too. I lived at my mom's house that she gave me for 20 plus years because I didn't think that there was a way out. Right? I didn't believe that it was light at the end of the tunnel. So I stayed because I felt like it was not feasible for me to live outside of what was given to me. So for people who have similar mindsets to where, okay, it was something that was given to me, so I'll live here for the rest of my life. I see other people thriving, not going to ask them how they did it because of the fear, right? They might make more money than me. They might be more successful, or they might be less, because you don't know. And the assumption of you assuming that there is that opportunity. Can you kind of share pretty much your sacrifice, because you have a very beautiful testimony in regards to your sacrifice, as they say, started from the bottom, now we're here. You have a beautiful testimony in regards to that. Can you kind of share, just a little bit of your testimony and just some more of the impediments about overcoming home ownership?
Absolutely. So once again, I grew up oldest of 9 children. I grew up in the projects of Staten Island called Shaolin. right? In a
Golly.
3-bedroom apartment.
Get your Wu-Tang on, brother. Go ahead.
3-bedroom apartment. And I had 6 sisters. They shared one room. Me and my 2 brothers shared a room, and then mom and dad was in the other room. And I literally remember thinking to myself as a teenager that we would never live in a house, right? Living in a house is for rich people.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're not rich. We'll never obtain that. So to go from there to now helping hundreds of people buy and sell a house, and I've probably owned 20 houses in my lifetime now. 4 personally and about 15 as rental properties. That's why we're called Team Bless. And basically with me, that was my impediment. I didn't have any images of home ownership in front of me, right? I didn't have relatives that own houses that were talking about that, right? That even showed me. My grandparents did own a house in Hoboken, New Jersey. What happened to my light? Goodness gracious. Did own a house in Hoboken, New Jersey. There it goes. In Hoboken, New Jersey. But they never really shared, right? They never shared and transferred the knowledge of how they became homeowners to me, nor did they share it with my father or my 9 aunts and uncles that they gave the 9 children. Out of all, I think only 1 out of 9 of my aunts and uncles went on to purchase a home. So my grandparents never shared that, never translated that information over to us. And so that's what we need to do, is that not only just tell our children, right? And we're going to get into this later on about young adults purchasing. Yes. But one of the things I say about the young adults, don't ask them, make them do it. I didn't, my oldest son is 23. He owns his own home for 3 years now. My youngest son is 20. He's applying for mortgages now. I didn't ask them, do you want to do this? I said, this is what you're going to do, right? Thank me for it later. Right? Thank me for making you a millionaire and able to retire early if you want to. Thank me for it later, okay? So once again, mind state and not being taught and really unable to face that trauma is what stands in our way. We just think wrong about real estate. Now, one huge impediment, going beyond the mind, is some of us are self-employed. Some of us have businesses where we
talk about that.
We may be 1099, right? I believe Brother Sean is 1099.
Yes,
right?
My husband is 1099.
Right. And so one of the impediments we have when we self-employed, 1099, or run your own business, how you making money, is one, you have to have 2 years of your business, proof of your business, in order to get a loan, right? There are some lenders that might do 1.5 years and things of that nature, but the rule of thumb is 2 years.
Right.
Now, also what stands in our way is that when we do them taxes, we may make 100,000, but we only claim 30,000, right? Because we don't want to.
That's an impediment, right?
Taxes. Listen, stop avoiding paying taxes, right?
Right.
You should be saying, "Praise God, I got to pay a whole bunch of taxes." That means you made a whole lot of money.
That's right.
Okay. Right. That means you made. If you got to pay more taxes, it means you had to pay a whole lot of money. Right. And there are ways to do it. Right. There are ways to do it. I'm not a tax expert, so I'm not going to get into those details, but there are ways to get around it. Okay.
Right. But
if you claim small amounts on your taxes, you'll never be able to get a home. Right. Because you make 100,000, but your adjusted income is only 25,000 because you wrote off $75,000 worth of income.
Yeah, that's
going to go based off your tax documents, right? So you might have to just bite the bullet, so to say, and say, listen, I'm not going to claim no expenses this year, and just say, hey, I just earned 100,000, because you're going to need the income, right? And it's worth it, right? It's worth it to be a homeowner. So that's one of our major
hurdles.
Right. along with income. Before I get into income, let's go into debt to income ratio, right?
Yes, that's a very good one because that's the you know that real estate talk. Debt to income ratio,
right? Debt to income ratio basically means you take your monthly debts on that, only the debts that are on your credit report, right? Credit cards, loans, school loans, right? Whatever that is monthly, right? Take it, add it all together, divide it by your monthly income. Okay. And you get your debt to income ratio. You're going to get a decimal, right? Which you multiply by 100 and it gives you a percentage, right? So basically for most loans, right? If you have a debt to income ratio of 40% or lower, thumbs up, you're good, right? You're good to go. Okay. That means you spend, 40% or less of your income on a monthly basis. Okay. And those are some of the requirements for some of the loans. If you don't have a proper debt to income ratio, they want to approve you for the loan. Wow. How we really get jammed up is that sometimes in our community, we have those buy here, pay here. Vehicles, yeah. Right? And we paying that car note, that's 400, 500, 600, 700 a month, right?
With an interest rate of 150.
Right? And we jammed up, right? And we paid $20,000 for the vehicle that's only worth $10,000, right?
My God.
Right. I know they say you lose $1,000 as soon as you drive off the lot, but you just lost $10,000 as soon as you drive off the lot. So what happens is you call Brother Michael Shabazz up, Team Blessed Realty's excited. Yo, give me a house. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to apply. We look at your debt to income ratio and I say, listen, this $700 car note's got to go, right? So let's try some things. One thing we can do to get over that impediment is that we can refinance your auto loan, right? We can do that, right? Or you can just sell that car.
Please sell it.
Affordable. What? Please. What? Sell my black man working, sell my BMW?
Right.
If you have the cash, just go ahead and pay it out.
Yeah. Don't do that, Tony.
Don't do that.
We need that for the down payment. We need that for the down payment.
Yeah. We need all of it.
Brother. All right. Hold on to the cash. Need it for the down payment, right? But maybe we sell a BMW, right, and just get yourself a little Honda Accord, or just a little economy car with a $200, $300 car note. Now we can get you into the car, get you into the house, right? And then after you buy your house, they will gladly reapprove you for that car. You can get whatever car you want.
Right. Okay? That's right.
So that's one of the impediments, right? We just, we need to be living in our car, unfortunately, right? So we just pay too much for it. We just pay too much for our vehicle. We want to get too fancy. One, can I talk to the sisters for a minute?
Yeah, talk to us, brother.
I'm going to talk to the sisters. Sometimes the brothers too on this one. Sisters, I know you got in your mind, right? Ooh, I'm going to meet my sweetheart and we're going to get married and we're going to have some beautiful brown and black children, and we're going to buy us a house. And it's going to be a big old house on the water, know. And in your imagination, you've been thinking about that for 10 years. But Brother Michael tell you, listen, you got to start out with a little starter house.
Right.
You might have to start out with a little fixer-upper.
Right.
Because, your imagination and what's in your mind is way out here, but your pockets is way around here.
Right.
So we have to
avoid the disappointment.
Right? Buy within your means, right? I live in a beautiful house now, but this is my fourth house. My first house was a little 1-bedroom condo that I had to fix up. Okay. Right. So you build gradually. Most people that you see live in a nice house, that nice house is not their first house.
Right.
Right. Brother Tony had a little condo, a little 2-bedroom condo. You know what I mean? So you start where you can start off with, right?
Right.
Mr. Khalila, you started off with what you can afford at that time.
Yeah. My mama house.
Exactly. Then you build up from there. Sir. So we got to get that. we thinking wrong, right? Get
Right.
get the mansion you want to, and I've actually heard people say, especially sisters, well, if I can't get the brand new granite with the tile floors and the 12-foot ceilings, I don't want nothing. We stay renting. What?
What?
Wrong
Yeah,
mindset.
Oh
It
yeah.
goes back to mindset, Brother Michael.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we just got to think better. You got to think better. It'll come. Have patience.
Okay.
And see, and that's another impediment, because this is a society where we're into instant gratification.
Absolutely.
We're interested in getting food now. We make that line, with the fast food joints or whatever, and that we go into the drive-through. We want that food now, and so when we're hungry, we want to eat now,
Right.
and so there's an overall mindset that we find here in America, and it's really spread throughout the world. But it's the mindset.
Yes.
If we're not taught from the time that we're little to be patient,
Right.
and to just work on chipping at it, chip at
That's
it,
right.
chip it, save,
That's right.
get your credit right, do all the necessary things, discipline.
Discipline.
You're gonna
That's
get
Absolutely.
what you want,
right.
but you ain't gonna get there just by being undisciplined and just being,
Correct.
I want it right now. I want it
Correct.
right now. You ain't gonna get it right now.
Correct. Correct.
So this is the last question, and if those of you who are listening, well, it might not be. I'm just saying, but this is our last question on our talking point, because this is what I really want you to kind of go home with. But I want, because our young people,
Right.
going back to your story, Brother Michael, when you were young, all you knew was apartments, right?
Mhm.
All you knew was, people who had houses was rich. If there was no closing the gap, right?
Right.
It was
Right.
either I'm in an apartment, this is what my mind can afford,
Right.
me to be in, but you have, like, and I hope that my daughter, because I did tag her in, I hope that my daughter is listening. Beautiful. She works like a mom. I'm telling you, she's like, oh my God. She right now, she could probably work me under the bus.
Mhm.
But she works so hard, and I want her to have the best, right? I want her to always be better than me. And that's all, parents. I hope all parents feel that way. For young people,
Mhm.
what can you advise them in regards to getting at home, and why is it important for young adults to seize the opportunity of home ownership?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's start with the why, right? We
Yeah.
need it, because we need the why to motivate us, right? To move
Right.
us as to why we're doing it. We know that right now with our young adults, right? I heard someone call them youth. Well, they're not youth. They're not children. They're
Right.
young adults, right? They're
Right.
adults
Right.
that are young in age, you know what I mean? Close, just like us, just like us.
Right.
But there's so many negative things that you can get into when you're 20, 25 years old, right?
Right.
A friend of mine just recently told me that he had to go and get his 19-year-old son that had overdosed on amphetamine. I think it was amphetamine or something of that nature.
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Yeah.
It was very
Fentanyl.
popular.
And look, go back to one of our shows. We talked heavy about fentanyl. You
Yes.
need to go back and
Yes.
listen to that show. But I
Right.
digress. Go
And
ahead, Brother
these
Mike.
and young adults are dealing with things that we didn't have to deal with at our age, right?
Yes.
Access to information and the access to other people to reach you, right?
Right.
Through social media, right? So his young 19-year-old son, he had to go get him because he almost overdosed. He got hooked on these pills, right? That you can pop all times a day, right? We can go out and catch all kinds of diseases. We can get pregnant. We can commit crimes. There's so many things that we can get into as young adults, but there's also some great things they can get into, right? there's some great things they can get into, right?
Right.
If you're a wide awake young man, young woman, right?
Mm.
You can be a millionaire by the time you're 25 with this thing right
Come
here.
on.
Come
You have
on.
everything you need right here.
Right.
Right here. Okay, you can do
Right.
just about anything you want with business right here, right? So instead of using it for social needs, use it for business, right?
Right.
But we can also be homeowners. We can also get into real estate soon, right? Because if you can afford to rent, you can afford to own.
Come
Okay,
on.
you can afford to rent. You can. So young people, if you're renting or you're thinking about renting, right? You have income, right? You have credit and you have some savings. The savings part you could probably get from your parents or your grandparents, right? To help you out, called a gift, right? But the income, let's start with that. So parents, you got to help them out though. You got to set them up for success, right?
Gotcha.
You got to set them up for success. So when they get around 16, 17, definitely 18 years old, they got to get a job. Get them a job, right? Even if that job is working for you, right? So parents, if you run a business, okay, instead of just giving money to your adult child, right? Pay them, put them on the payroll, right?
Right.
So now this is income. Let them file tax return, okay? Because in order to buy a home, we need 2 years worth of income, right? So if they start at least by their 18, okay, by the time they're 20, ready to rock and roll, they're ready to go, right?
Right.
Credit. Don't put bad credit on your children.
Right.
You put the phone bill and the light bill and the water bill in their name, right?
Get it out of there.
When you can, get it out of here, right? You can actually do the very opposite though, right? When they turn teenagers, you can put them on as an authorized user on your credit, if it's good credit, or a grandparent or a friend or a relative that has good credit, tell them to add your children on as authorized user. I did that with my sons. I asked my mother-in-law, right? She had credit cards where she paid them on time, 800 credit for 20 years, 30 years. Okay. So my sons, both of them actually have 20 years worth of credit history on their credit report, even though they're only 20 and 23 years old.
Wow.
Right.
Beautiful.
Because you can literally
and that automatically
inherit credit history. Right.
Is that a certain age? Well, I guess since they was babies. Okay.
No, I mean, they were about maybe 13 when I asked my mother-in-law to do it. Okay. I could have did it on mine, but her credit, I had 700 credit, but she had 800, right?
Right.
I asked her, right? It's even better, right? So I hope my sons aren't watching this, but they could probably get $1 million loan right now because of their credit score, right?
Wow.
I don't want them to do that.
All right, Junior.
But right, but you literally inherit the credit history. Okay. This is what the poor don't know and the rich do all the time. Okay.
Right.
So that's step 1 and step 2. Income, right? And credit, right? Next part is savings, right? That can come from as a gift from parents, parents, grandparents, etc., etc. Now, once again, why? Young folks, if you buy a home now, 20 years from now, that home that you bought for $200,000 may be worth $500,000 or $1 million, right? Right. And so now you just became a millionaire by just living in the house.
Wow.
Paying your mortgage as opposed to paying rent. Right. Now, some young people, they say, well, I don't know because I don't know if I'm going to stay. I don't know if I'm going to move. Listen, houses, don't get emotionally attached to it. Houses are meant to be bought and sold. Okay. They're meant to be bought and sold. They're wood, they're plyboard, right?
So that's why we should get out of that mindset of the 30-year.
Yeah. I mean, nobody stays in the house for 30 years anymore.
No.
Right? No. You take it. Now, also, here's the jewel. Y'all ready?
I'm ready for the jewel. The jewel is
here's
good.
The jewel.
Come on.
Right? young folk, young adults, instead of buying a single family home, purchase a multi-family home. Ooh,
Right.
your
Okay,
first
go
home,
into detail about multifamily homes.
right?
What
So
does that look like?
here, instead of buying a single unit home, you buy a home that has 2, 3, or up to 4 units, right?
Kind of like a duplex.
You can use the same loan, right?
Okay.
Duplex, triplex, or quadruplex, up to 4 rental unit apartments in one building.
Mm.
Now you can live in one unit, have the other units pay you rent, and they pay your mortgage for you. That means your paycheck that you're getting goes into your savings account.
My God.
If you get a quadruplex, you should be making enough to cover the mortgage plus some profit. Now your liability turns into a profitability. Now your house is paying you every month.
And the profit, Brother Michael, you invest that into getting a single family or another piece of
Investment
property,
right.
that you can call your own.
Absolutely. Okay. So those of us that, we think about being rich and being wealthy, go for it. But most millionaires are made through real estate.
Come on.
Okay. Most millionaires are made via real estate. Okay. I know a lot of young adults, they want to be social media moguls.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a social media personality. Okay. Even if you do that, right? Think about it. No matter what other field you go into, when you get your money, when you make that first $1 million, what's the first thing we do?
Go and buy a house.
I'm gonna buy a house and buy a house for my mama, right? And then get a car.
And
right?
get a car.
Get a car.
And get some bling.
But it all comes back to real estate, right?
Right.
Ask Elon Musk.
Right.
I bet she owns a lot of real estate.
Right.
You can't live in that car.
Right.
You can't live in that computer chip, right?
That's true.
You can't live in the social media world, right? You can't live in a virtual world. You can't eat that, okay?
Right.
You need some real estate.
Real estate, absolutely. So these are some reasons why we should, as young adults, get into that soon. Not now, but right now. Like I said, parents, make them do it while you have control of them, right? While you have influence over them, make them do it. Don't ask them, make them do it. Tell them what to do. You're the parent. You give them the guidance.
Beautiful teaching.
Beautiful teaching.
Wow. So what we're going to do, we're going to hear from our dear beloved minister talk about the same jewels, Brother Michael, that you were just dropping on us. Wow. He's going to go into some real hard cut, undercut. I mean, he's going to do a couple of jabs, underhooks, a couple of jabs, a couple of cross. But you're gonna feel everything that he say when it comes down to real estate. So we're gonna segue to that, Michael. And I know you're gonna want to get this video after you hear. Yeah.
You McDonald's eaters. Because there ain't no sense in you saying you've been well educated and not well fed. Because they go hand in hand. What you feed here has to equal what you feed here. If you feed here garbage, that's what you eat up here. Well fed means you got to get control of the land again. 56.1 million acres of land belonging to our Native American brothers and sisters, but they don't control it. It's in trust to a government that we can't trust. So our coming together has to be along the lines that we understand what our individual struggles are, and also what our collective struggles are. Because just like we moved across the stage yesterday with our Mexican family, our Native American family, our Black family, our Palestinian family, okay. That's marching across the stage saying good words, but to translate that into a working relationship, that the 56.1 million acres, 3.3 million acres of arable land that is under cultivation by other than Indians. But we have a deal. Break it! They broke every treaty that they signed with you. Break those damn treaties and get your land. And imagine the black, the brown, and the red working together to develop the land. There's $1.5 trillion of material wealth under the land, but our native family does not have access to that. The justice people, the white folks, they give the land, sell the land to who they please. White folks come among you and say, I'm Choctaw. I am Oglala Sioux. Me Navajo too. Yeah, right. And the minute they come in, they want tribal rights. They suck up tribal wealth. And you want to call them your brother? See, the right education will bring you to the testicle factory. Where you can order the size of testicles that it takes to get the job done. And the last thing is economic development. And there is no economic development without ownership of land.
That's right.
All our power comes from the ownership of land.
Wow.
And that's why, when we are strong enough, see, we have to tell the government, if you want to let us go, that's why I mentioned Tom Jefferson. He really wanted to let us go, Didn't happen then. But right now, we're strong enough. You're going to lose it all if you don't give us some. Oh, wait now. That ain't just talk. See, God is present today. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We don't have to act out of fear. This is what he said. They don't act out of fear. Just try being as much man as you can.
Just try.
Turn them dried raisins into grapes, then into pears, and till you get to the watermelon state. So,
Praises be to Allah.
Wow.
I
Wow.
love our minister. The beautiful thing
Absolutely.
about our minister, there is no fear attachment to
That's
our
right.
minister. Oh, this thing is all over the place. Our minister, he believes in fearless attacks, fearless beliefs, because he has a fearless God that backing him 101%. And
right.
we have to have the same mindset and the same idea of what we should be expecting, in regards to how we can maintain and get what is rightfully ours, right?
Right.
We're doing it the way, like they said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
That's right.
So you're teaching, brother, Michael, the rendering unto Caesar what is Caesar's. But eventually, as me and you both know, brother Michael, it's going to eventually be ours anyway. But,
That's right.
but let's deal with the present time.
That's right.
So can you give us, because I see that you have some slides here that you want to share with us in regards to just some ideas of real estate. Would you like to share those?
A little bit later, a little inspiration, towards the end. Towards the end.
Okay.
I want to go out with some inspiration, right?
So my question to you is, what do you think and what can you give us in regards to hearing the minister and addition? Well, first of all, you can't add to what he said. He said what he said, right? But for you as being an expert in the real estate industry, what can you tell us in regards to how we can proceed forward?
That was, once again, you got to send that clip.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
So I can utilize it. Because, we can't say it the way and express it the way. And really, the minister has given us our spiritual foundation.
Right.
Right. He's given me my spiritual foundation to even be in this business and have a love for our people, where I want to specifically focus on this aspect that we are weak in.
Right.
Right. One of the things that sometimes we get comfortable doing the things that's come easy to us.
Right.
So we come into knowledge of self, and we eat one meal a day.
Right.
We gave up pork, right? So we got our body right. We did self-improvement.
Right.
Right. Mentally, we came into our knowledge of self, and now it cleaned up the trauma that was in our mind, right?
Right.
We are under control emotionally, right? And spiritually, we've been fed and we've grown, right? As men and women. But we tend to neglect finances. We tend to neglect finances, right? And we tend to have very little faith when it comes to our finances, because it does take a certain amount of finances, right? Brother Sean is an independent contractor.
Right.
Takes a certain amount of, you got to step on a certain amount of faith, right? Because I talked to my brother, and he talked about when he first started, he didn't make no money. Right. He kept plugging away. Right.
Yes, sir.
Until,
alhamdulillah,
he got some milk. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the same thing for me. I had to step out on faith. I quit my teaching job. It was a very secure job. People thought I was crazy. Well, when you're going through the home buying process, right, there's a little bit of faith you have to step out on. You're going to uncharted waters. And so we can't allow anxiety and fear of the unknown, fear of credit or whatever, income, right? In the nation, we say we meet and overcome all obstacles in our path.
Come on. That's right.
Right. And so that's what the minister was teaching on, you know what I'm saying? And he was going through the history, right? So we just have to get our fortitude up, get our faith up, right? And just go for it, man, right?
That's right.
When it comes to real estate, right, you have professionals to help you, guide you, right? So you're not, going blindly. But we just have to get up and go. We are in a state of emergency. We're in a state of emergency. right? With COVID, with famine on the way, okay? And it's a security risk, right? The enemy could come at any time and be like, you know what, man, your rent was 2,000, now it's 4,000.
Yes, that's happening. That is happening
Okay.
right now.
The
That is
enemy
happening
can come
right
in,
now.
the enemy can come and say, you know what, I don't want you here no more, leave. Right? And he could put us out on the street. It's a security risk, you know. And there's people living in their cars right now, families living in their cars in Walmart, right? We need to be on high alert, and we need to act, not act 10 years from now. I don't want to hear I'm going to get a house next year. You know, no, start acting now. Make motion now. Okay? We need the sense of urgency right now, because we're in a terrible position if we're not owning something of our own. Not now, but right now. I was looking at this article today, sister, and I kind of stumbled across it. Do you know that there are female tenants that pay their rent with sex to their landlords?
My God. My God.
I couldn't believe it. Like it, I mean, the depths of Satan, right? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we can't even imagine the depths that he would go in his evil, right? And so that is just on a whole nother level, right? So, but what do we do to combat this kind of thing, right?
Right.
We set, you know, sisters, you know, in particular, brothers and sisters. Brothers, if you're single, or if you're not single, you're married, whatever, but if you're single and you're qualifying yourself to have a mate, to have a wife and children, you don't wait till you meet your mate and then you want to get a house. No, you aren't that great to be like, you know what, sweetheart, we just got married. We can move into my house.
Right.
Okay. Man, she will woo-wee.
Right.
I love you. My boy take care of his business.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And sisters, right? Until you meet that one,
that's right.
Right? You don't gotta be, you know, not handling your business.
Right.
You can meet that one and he could be like, wow, Queen got 2-3 houses already.
Right.
Got her retirement all set up. You know, I can add my 1 or 2 houses with hers, and now, I mean, man, financially, we really doing it. So we got to start not now, but right now. And we got to. The process takes a little faith. Right. We said we are people of faith. But our actions need to show that. Our actions need to show that. And what is faith? Right?
Right.
Faith is not belief. Those are 2 different things. Okay.
Break
faith,
that down.
Right, is the substance of things hoped for.
Right.
Right. Substance. What substance do we have with home ownership? Well, Sister Kalila got herself a home.
Sure did.
Michael got a couple of homes. Right. And today I just looked it up. In the Central Florida area, nearly 700 people bought homes today.
Wow.
Just today, 700. Wow. That's just in Central Florida area. That's not included over in Miami. Okay, that's not including the rest of Florida. Just in Central Florida, 700 people bought homes today. Right? Is that enough substance?
Right.
Is that enough evidence?
Right.
Right.
It's possible. Right.
Right. It's possible. These are people just like you. These aren't our millionaires. These are people with minimum wage jobs that just took care of their credit and didn't overspend their debt. And so they put themselves in a position to purchase a home. You can do it too.
Wow. I have a question in the audience from our dear sister Michelle, our hostess with the mostest. Her question is, there are so many benefits. Can you talk about the opportunities of starting a business with using equity from the home?
Ooh. First of all, when you buy a home, I know we think of this very personal, but that's business, right? Right. I'm telling you, when you buy your first home, it will completely change your mindset, how you think about money and finance. When you finish this process, I'm telling you, you will change as a person. Your outlook on finances, on money, on anything dealing with finances changes. It is a necessary educational process that you have to put yourself through.
Absolutely.
Well, one of those things when you buy a house is that you can build what's called equity, right? This is basically getting money without working for it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is how it works for those of us that are not familiar with that word. So if you buy a house for 200, well, you know what? Let's update it. If you buy a house for $300,000.
Right, because that's about it. That's about the amount. That's about
like
average.
Where you need to start, right?
If
you buy a house for $300,000, right? You live in the house for 5 years, and after 5 years, the houses that are just like yours in your neighborhood are now selling for $400,000. The difference between what you paid for it and how much the house is worth, how much it can sell for, is called your equity, right? In this case, your equity is $100,000 worth of equity. Okay, that's value that you have gained in the house. All right, for just living in it, you didn't do anything special. You didn't work for it. This equity can be tapped into, right? Another name for your equity is your personal bank. Right, your equity becomes your bank. So instead of you going to somewhere else to get a loan, you can dip into your equity and use the equity, that $100,000, maybe take 50,000 of it and start a business. Right? You can take 50, 100,000 of, well, not 100. You can't take all of it, but you can take some of your equity and use that equity to put it down as a down payment on an investment home, another property. And you can repeat that process over and over again, just as long as you have equity. For some of us young people, young adults, you get your first multifamily. Not only are you collecting rents, income, profit every month, but also that property is growing equity. So you may buy that multifamily for $400,000, but 5 years later, it may be worth $500,000, $100,000 more. Right? So it paid you twice from the rents, but also from the equity. By the way, if you buy a house, especially a multifamily, that is starting a business. That is a business.
That is a business.
That is a business. Okay. I love it because it's a business that you don't have to get up and work for, right? Like you think owning a restaurant is easy. Yeah, but you got to get up and be there and run that restaurant early in the morning, late at night. When it comes to real estate, you get passive income.
Right.
You're making money in your sleep.
Wow. Man, so you dropped so many jewels with us, and listen, I just listen, because what you're saying is so profound. And I just want to give a shout out to my husband, because my husband allowed me to dream again. He came in my life and he was like, he looked, because I didn't want to leave Florida. He wanted to get me up out of here. He was like, "You get up out of here," and I was like, "I don't want to go." So, because he had, his little thing going on in, Texas, and we got married, and right immediately I got pregnant. So he was like, "Okay, well, I can't move you." You know what I'm saying? So we had to live in my house, and he was like, "I ain't staying here long." You know what I mean? And he kept on egging. He was like, "Listen." And he got out there. He worked. He saved. He worked. He saved. He worked. He saved. And he was like, we're not living here." I was like, "Okay, whatever. Girl, ain't nothing wrong with this house." But he made me a believer that I can look at things in a whole different perspective. And you're absolutely right. When we started looking at homes, the first home I went to was the home that I'm familiar with, the home in the hood, right? So we went to the house, and the house is like a little over $100,000. And he was like, "I'm not staying here. We're not staying here." So I was like, "It's nothing wrong with this house. It has this, it has that." And he was like, we're not staying here. Look at the, you know, and he was just picking it because this is what he does for a living. He was like, he was picking the house apart. And so he's like, you got 3 more times because again, I want you to be comfortable in where you lay your head. So he said, you got 3 more tries. So I gave him another try. And I said, look, and I'm telling my real estate agent, hey, we're not going over there. I know that we approved for this amount, but we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We you know, because again, I'm still dealing with fear, right? I'm still, we approved with this whole big, huge amount that the, you know, that they said that they will give us. But again, I'm looking at what if my husband fail? What if I fail? What if, you know, these things do not work out and then I'm stuck or he's stuck or we're, you know, it's just all types of things that goes on in your head in regards to building a new life outside of the life that you've been spending all of your life with, right? So we went through this and, you know, so I, of course, 3 strikes you're out. I just, you know, I had this man all in the hood. I had him, you know, with a pool with frogs all in it. I was like, you know, I can see the future. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see a frog, but I see like clean water. That man was like, I'm not doing that. He says, my turn, you know, and I allow him to take the lead as we are taught in the Nation of Islam, you know, for a righteous man with a righteous mind and a thoughtful mind to take the lead. So, of course, when he started showing me these houses, it was close to the mark where, you know, it was saying that, you know, we are good to, you know, get a house. And I was like, Sean, I don't think because I'm thinking now, I went to now from fear to now I'm not even worthy of it.
Wow.
I'm not worthy of
I'm gonna add this to my list. I'm gonna add that one to my list.
I'm not worthy of this house. I don't feel like I fit here. This is for them. This is not for me.
I was thinking when I was a child. Right.
This is, oh my God. I see so many of them here. How do I look in this environment? And my husband say, what did the minister tell us?
Come on.
What did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan tell us?
Come on, Brother Sean.
What did our Supreme Wisdom tell us?
Come on.
And I'm like, I know, but I'm scared. So he was like, well, when you're scared, what do? What is our teachings when we're taught that we're scared? That means that God is not present. God is not a scary God. God is a just God. So if he's giving us the opportunity to see our future in something that he knows that we should be in, why not take advantage of it? If these people say that we're supposed to get this, then we're going to max it. I'm like, we're going to max it. And by Allah's grace and permission, we got the house, and it was the house that was suitable for us. Mama, because you know, listen, and this is just a disclaimer to our sisters that who are in courtship with these brothers, and they, you know, because courtship is a bargaining tool. Okay, don't get it twisted, because one of my bargaining tools for my courtship was my mama got to come with me.
Okay, you put it on the table. You put it on the table for brother.
You know, you either take it or let it alone.
That's right.
You know,
package deal.
And my husband said, I accept that. And that's honorable for you to even want your mother to be with us.
Allahu Akbar.
So not only that we're looking for a house, but we're looking for a house that's suitable for my mom.
That's right.
And I say, you know, she gonna get the master suite because you know, mom is the queen, baby. She gonna get the master suite. We can get one of these other rooms that looks probably similar to a master suite, but mom is in that. And he humbly submitted, you know. And our life has been peaceful ever since because God was present. God was present in every iota that we did. And I removed that fear and allow my husband to be the man that Allah desired him to be. I know that was a long story, but I just wanted to bring it to
It's right on time.
that perspective, because a lot of times our sisters, we are so used to doing things on our own that we do not allow our
Teach on it.
husbands
Teach on it.
to be the beneficiaries of our life, because we feel like we have control, because we have been in control. But where did that lead us? Misery, being alone, always saying what you have, which you don't have it.
Tired.
You don't have it.
Tired.
And you're tired. You're looking older than what you really is. You're dying young. You have all of these diseases that you don't have no idea of where it's coming from, but it's coming from stress because your partner's not there to guide you and protect you. I've had a man, thank praises be to Allah, a man that was a protector and a provider and a guide for us to get to the other side where there's peace. So I just wanted to give you all just, and the thing is, I mean, for those of you who already know me, you already know that I'm a firecracker. I'm a ram. I'm going head first with no questions later. But my husband was the one to humble me and say, whatever God desires for you to have, you deserve it. You don't work hard. You don't sacrifice. You're not a sacrificing woman. So why you don't deserve the best? So I was like, praises be to Allah. And I had to be at ease to that. Yeah. And he did give it to us and solutions to actually make sure that we have a roof over our head and comfortable mentally, that these things are being paid by Allah's grace and permission.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother had the vision.
Yes. And I had to follow that. I had to follow
the vision. Not only the vision, he had faith, right?
Yes. Yes.
Not only did he have vision, he had patience.
Yes.
All right. And I don't know Brother Sean very well, even though we spoke for 2 hours. Last time I spoke to him. Yeah, right. But brother is an insurance adjuster, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Risk analysis.
Yes.
That's risk analysis, right?
It is. It is.
Yeah, everything is a risk, but how do you reduce the risk?
Right.
While leveraging your benefits.
Right. Okay?
That
is true.
Right.
That is true.
And so not only that, he had the mathematics behind it, right? Islam is mathematics. Mathematics is Islam.
You tell him my tree of the week. Okay,
right?
Go ahead.
Problem number 13, my favorite supreme wisdom lesson. Problem number 13. That's the one we should be reading over and over again. It's in the supreme wisdom twice for a reason.
Yes.
It has its own section for a reason. We need to look at it and read it over and over again till we get it. We just not getting it.
Right.
Use our mathematic theology while we live to benefit us in this life.
This life.
Not now, but right now.
Right.
Sometimes I hear folks say, especially in the nation, when it comes to, I'm also the secretary for Muhammad Mosque, 47 in
47.
Tampa. 47. War, go to war, Muhammad, right? So, and we're striving to get a mosque, right?
Right.
And throughout the 7th region, right, we don't own not one mosque in the whole 7th region.
Wow.
We don't own not one in the whole 7th region. We need to turn that around.
Right.
And I think, our home life and how we handle our finances on a personal level is a microcosm of how we handle finances, to think about land and owning mosque, building, school, businesses on a region, right?
Right.
In our cities, right, is a reflection of our personal lives. My opinion.
Witness.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
My opinion, right? It's a microcosm,
absolutely.
Right? I'm saying it. I'm a 7th region real estate consultant, so I'm saying it.
Right. You got the badge.
That's my consult. Right? And so I think that in the 7th region in Florida, we can be the example for the rest of the nation and be the example for the rest of the nation on how to get land, purchase land, and build mosques, schools, and businesses. Because Florida still is one of the cheapest places you can get land.
Wow.
That you can buy building and buy property right here, underneath our feet.
Right.
And it's a place where everybody wants to be.
Right. That is
Everybody
true.
wants a piece of Florida. If they don't want to live here permanently, they at least want a vacation here.
That's right.
Right.
That is true. That is true.
They want to come here and come to our resorts, come to our beaches, be in the sunshine,
see the Jaguar,
get the vitamin D. Right. So listen, we're poised to be in a great position. All we have to do is remove our own impediments, get out of our own way, and step out on faith. Step into the process. Start today.
All right. Well, you know what? Since you mentioned, that beautiful, beautiful problem. That was actually my tree of the week, tree of the week, tree of the week. And the beautiful thing about our tree of the week is in our Supreme lessons, we have a problem. It's problem 13. It indicates after learning mathematics, which is Islam, and Islam is mathematics, you can always prove it at no limit of time. Then you must learn to use it to secure some benefit. And you say, oh, don't be greedy, okay? Some benefit for yourself while you live. While you live. That is luxury. Now, keep in mind, let's dissect that word luxury.
Yeah. Clear the word, sis.
Luxury is basically something that you feel that is luxury, but a step above. Because the reason why I say a step above, because again, I'm dealing with my mindset. Remember, I was saying, hey, let's go and get this house, in the hood. But my husband said, no, we're gonna go a little above that.
We're gonna get a little luxury.
Right, we're gonna get a little bit. We're gonna get, so we're gonna just upgrade your mind a little bit. So luxury, money, okay, good homes, not the broken down ones, not the ones that condemned. Okay, condemned. Good homes where you can actually live in and be comfortable in, right? And friendships in all walks of life. Sit yourself in heaven at once. You have to really ask yourself a question. The house that you're living in, would you consider that heaven?
Man,
and if you don't consider that heaven, then you need to find and sit yourself in heaven at once.
At once.
That's my tree of the week.
Beautiful.
So I know that you got slides, brother. Michael, where's those slides now? I've been kind of pulling on my headpiece.
Listen, when we came on, when we started coming on air, and you got the numbers going on, boom, 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 right, and you got the minister singing,
right,
in the intro. I remembered I still have my slides from before that I didn't get through.
Okay.
Right, but in particular, I wanted to go to the last couple of slides, which are the receipts. Right.
Okay.
Brothers and sisters and associates that purchased a home, right?
Okay.
We need to show, right? This helps us build our faith, right? When we see our brothers and sisters, well, brothers did it, brothers and sisters such and such did it,
right?
You know what I mean? I can do it, right? So I want to hopefully inspire us to begin to get luxury, money, good homes, and friendship in all walks of life. By the way, we got to talk about money. We so scared to talk about money.
You
Talk about the N word.
let's dive in it quickly. When you say okay, because me again, this is me being just ignorant. I'm thinking because I'm seeing a lot of movies, hey, I'm gonna save the world with this stack of money, right? What they call it, the under the couch or the under
Mattress
the
money.
the mattress money, right?
Okay.
So you don't saved all this mattress money, right? And so when you have this money, right, you thinking that, hey, let's say I got $15,000 saved up. I'm good. I can go put that $15,000 on the house, right? I got got it right here. And it's so funny because that was my mindset. So my broker said, okay, I'm sorry, are you a drug dealer? They're like, where do you get all this money? How do you save all this money? So again, I had to go with, my husband is the breadwinner, right? So I'm able to take my little money, right, that I make on my job and just store it. That's all I've been doing is just storing it. So I don't believe in banks, right? And I take it at the bank.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that, sis.
But but the thing is, I want you to talk about it because people think because they have tangible money that is because I learned the hard way. And then I had to put the money back in. And then they like, hey, are you a dope dealer? Right. Are you a dope dealer? Where you got this money? So please, if we're going to talk about money, can we start there? Because that is a no, don't do that.
Right. There are federal laws that basically when you buy a home, right, they have to be able to trace the money, right? They have to be able to trace where that money comes from.
Right.
So you can't have what we call mattress money.
Right.
That's just somewhere in a safe or somewhere and just last minute, just, come to the closing with it, right? You can't come with the money. Okay.
Right.
And this is mainly because, right, I think there's two main reasons. One, they don't want people that are doing illegal things, drugs and things like that, to be able to legalize their money by putting it through basically launder money through real estate, right? But also it tightened up. And we saw this, those of us that are Muslim, we saw this during the time when 9/11, right? Homeland Security, right? I would go to the bank. If I went to the bank and put money in the bank, they were questioning me extra. Like if you had a Muslim name, your name was Saeed, Muhammad, they were questioning you extra when you just put in the, it could be just $1,000. They were questioning you, right? And critical over the movement of money because they were afraid that, unfortunately, they were trying to tie any kind of terrorist acts, funding terrorism, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Okay. So, but regardless of the fact, the mortgage industry has been reformed tremendously. And so you have to show the receipts. You got to show where you get that money from. Even if you get a gift from a relative,
right,
your relative has to show
where they got it from.
That they took that money from. They have to transfer it. They can't take the money out and give it to you cash. They got to give it to you in a check so they can see a paper trail of all the money. Right. That's first of all on that. And then I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, but even with money, because money, again, our mind thinking money is cash. Can you kind of discuss when you're talking about money and why is it important to actually have the money and the type of money that you need? Because to me, from what I am hearing from you, money is credit.
Correct. I mean, it is a form. You need both, right? You need cash, right, in the bank,
right, right, in the bank, right. Not in the safe.
Listen, everyone should keep a certain amount of cash on hand, right? We're taught that as survival. You're supposed to keep a certain amount of cash on hand, right?
Right.
But you shouldn't have 20,000, 30,000, 40, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Huge sums of thousands of dollars, put that in the bank, right? It's insured. Okay.
Right.
And the other thing is you need to have a certain amount of credit to be able to leverage the credit, because credit you can leverage, right? Just like we talked about equity, how you can leverage the equity in your home, right? We talked about credit cards, how you can take credit card balances, right? Get a cash advance and use it to invest into something, a business or real estate or something you need, or maybe use it as an emergency, right? It becomes an emergency fund where you don't spend your cash, right? It's okay to do that just as long as you can know how to manage debt, right? One thing, I got to find the clips where the minister talks about debt being okay just as long as you can manage the debt, right? You don't spend out of your means, right? So Sister Kalila, when you went and bought your home and you was worried about spending too much money, right? Your mortgage lender actually does that for you, right?
Exactly. And he did.
They won't let you overspend, right?
He did.
You say, hey, this is your income, and they say this is the portion that we allow for your monthly budget for your house. You can't go above it. They won't allow it. All right.
Exactly.
So there's safety devices there to help us. But when we talk about money, though, what I really mean too is talk about generating more income, right?
Okay.
Right. And I want to, especially the brothers, man. Brothers, we should not be satisfied with working on a job for 10 years, 20 years, making minimum wage.
My God.
We have to be ambitious. It's okay to start there. Okay. But when you got, especially when you have knowledge of self, you should constantly be striving to get better. Self-improvement, right? That means getting better also in finances, right? Mental, physical, spiritual, but also finances. So we should always be striving to get better. Donald Mrs. Farrakhan, I believe he said he wanted 1,000 millionaires.
That's right. That's what he said.
I want to be one. You know what I'm saying? I want to be one. I'm on my way. Okay. I got a plan to be a millionaire within the next 5 years. I'm a little ahead of that. Right. But I've only had my real estate license for 10 years. So it don't take a lot. Once you know what you're doing and you understand the science of business, the science of money, and then you could replicate it over and over again. It doesn't take much, right? It's just getting that. And then speaking on that, the minister said that business is the activity of life. I believe, yes. Business is the activity of life. So I looked at that and I think very mathematically, right? That's just how my mind thinks. And there's certain words that you can replace with mathematical symbols, right? Wherever you see the word is, business is, equal sign, activity. When you see the word of, you can put a multiplication symbol in, right? So business is equal to activity times life, okay? Right? And we know in a multiplication problem, if you put in a 0, right, on either one of those
equations, right?
If you put in a 0 either for activity or for life, then there's no business going on, right? In multiplication, you drop a 0 on multiplication, the answer is going to be 0. Period. Right. So we have to ask ourselves, if we're not doing business, right? We either need to do. We're obviously alive, but are we asleep? Right? Are we falling back asleep? We are at a low level of life, or do we not have enough activity? Right? We have to increase one of them, right? Either we're not wide awake, or we're at a low level of activity or doing no activity at all. All right. So from the minister, Jules from the minister. Keep minding them.
So about these Jews, I want to see these slides. Look, what they say. Well, look what Macy what is Macy? God, what is her name? Macy, the songwriter, Macy Gray.
Macy Gray.
Yeah, on training day, her what she said, let me see those slides. I want to see that. I want to see those slides. He told, I want to see that warrant. I want to see those slides.
Listen, that sister's not acting. That's just, I mean, she hardly acting. Like, that's part of her. You know what I mean?
That's what I love. That's why I can remember that part, because that's just her. Beautiful sister. But yeah.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you put up my number and email address?
Absolutely.
So that people can see that? Because I listen, I want to help you take action, right?
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what part of the country. And I'm only licensed for Florida, but I can still help you, get you in contact with a qualified realtor, whatever part of the country you're in, right? I can still advise you,
right,
consult with you, right? I want to help as many people as possible into the process of home ownership and hold your hand through the whole entire process. You don't have to do it by yourself. All right. So here's my number. Here's my email address. If I don't pick up, I'm on the phone all the time talking to people about real estate. Drop me a text. I'll get back to you. Right. Drop me an email. I'll get back to you. But I want to close out here. I want to inspire you a little bit with some success story. Just a couple of clients, home buyers. Some of them are brothers and sisters that have gotten their home.
Okay. Praise be to Allah. So let's put it up.
All right. All right. So this is my sister, our sister, Sister Shantae. She bought her first home. I believe it is her first home in Plant City about 2 or 3 years ago. She bought this home. She is a single mom. She had a small budget, but she was willing to stay within her budget, and she was able to get this beautiful townhouse in Plant City, low maintenance, right, for the sister. She don't got to worry about cutting the grass. And we had a great experience. And, you know, I've been talking to her about, you know, upgrading now.
Okay.
The next one. Bigger and better.
Praise be to Allah. Okay. And I'm going this way. Okay.
All right. So this is a special one. This is brother Jermaine, brother Jermaine and his beautiful wife. I believe they have 5 children. They were in a small 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. Brother Jermaine is actually the nephew of our student minister, Chad Muhammad.
Okay. Praise be to Allah.
Right. And so he trusted in me. He called them and said, listen, I got somebody to help you get a home. Brother Jermaine had a VA loan, and he was able to get this brand new home, right, on this beautiful 1/4 acre lot, his first house, right? And his family has plenty of space to go out there, right? And he got his first home as a brand new home.
Brand new home.
By the way, we do brand new homes. Get your realtor. Don't walk into the new home builder on your own. Your realtor will leverage better deals from you, right? Real quick, right? Some people think they can go in and negotiate better than the professional, right?
Wow.
Right. So listen, Sister Kalila, you know, you said, we talked about it too. You have a job, you know, you work in the medical field, you know what I mean?
Right.
I got a master's degree. I'm a pretty smart guy, right?
Right.
There's no way I can do your job better than you. No way. No way. You do it every day, right? There's no way. You know, I have hundreds of transactions behind me. Right. There's no way you can negotiate better than me.
No, my fault. You know even though I think I could sell ice to an Eskimo, but you know, absolutely right.
I have the benefit of lots and hundreds of transactions, right?
Absolutely.
That means something. So
absolutely.
Next slide. All right, one of my favorite. Well, my uncle and auntie, I call them, right?
Right.
Brother Student Minister James and his beautiful wife, Sister Joanne. Brother Minister James is 70, a little over 70 years old, and he purchased his first home. Right? First home, right? Once again, another brand new house, as you can see. They got a big old house. Their first house, and they deserved it. I went over there and visited with them not too long ago. They're enjoying it. They're like you know, especially Brother Minister James, like a little kid, excited over his house, right? And it gave them such peace of mind, right? To be in their home that's theirs. They don't got to move around after 2 or 3 years, and they can have their grandchildren over, and they have extra space, and they can fix it how they want it, you know.
Granite counters and
Nice and heavy. Look at that big old island.
I know, it's huge.
Yeah. So
wow,
beautiful, inspiring story. So these are two different couples, right? Over here, this couple, this is during the middle of COVID, right? That's why we're standing outside. They had the clothes on their house in their car.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They couldn't even come into the closing off the title company. They couldn't even do that. The title company would bring the papers out, slide the papers through the window, and they signed everything and then took it back, right? And so the funny thing, I met them. They were actually going through a very difficult trial. When I first met them, I actually met them to help them sell their house that they were already living in. They fell on some bad times with employment, and their house was behind, right? And they went through a couple of different realtors, but none of them could sell the house for them, right?
Oh, wow.
They were trying to sell the house because they were so far behind, right? So they wanted to just kind of clear the debt. So I actually, after getting the door slammed in my face 2 or 3 times, right, they finally gave me an opportunity to talk to them. And long story short, I ended up selling their house, right? And then 2 or 3 years later, you know, they got their income back, and they got the credit back online, and end up buying a new house, right? So they came all the way back around, you know. And here, this is my wife standing next to me, Regina, who's also a realtor, who actually got her real estate license first and inspired me to get my real estate license, right?
That's right.
Just one of her nursing friends that we helped get a home.
Perfect.
All right. So here, Brother Malik up in the upper corner. Once again, this is not Brother Malik's first home, but I believe he lost his previous home many years ago, maybe in the 90s or something like that. And so he's also around 70 or a little older than 70 years old. Help him get a house here in Tampa. He was actually able to bring him through a first time buyers program again, because if you don't own a house for 2 to 3 years, then you're considered a first time home buyer all over again. And then a brand new house with Sister Justine and Brother Willie. They got a brand new house up in Wesley Chapel. This is the Lagoon community, right? It's like a man-made beach in that area. People come from all over to come to that community. It's like a man-made beach. I live in one of those too in Waimama, by the way. Hey.
That's that rich stuff. That's that rich talk. Hey.
No, it ain't. It's not rich. Just leveraging, knowledge of self, supreme wisdom, mathematics.
Right. That's how rich people talk. That's ain't rich. Anytime somebody say ain't rich, that means it's rich. That means, listen, you got to remember, every time Brother Michael talk, you know, it's an echo. So that means that his house is huge. I mean, he's like, hello. So that's when you know that a house is big. Okay.
I promise you I got furniture in here. I promise you.
Yeah, okay, in that big house. Okay, the house is eating his furniture. Okay, I digress. Okay, moving on.
All right, this is a beautiful one. This is Brother Hinton and Sister Renata. Yes, Sister Renata. With the assistance of Sister Elia, who's in Miami, right? Who also has her real estate license, right? Part of Team Blessed Realtors, along with Brother Lamar, who's the student secretary, also a realtor, and he owns an insurance company in St. Petersburg, right? So if you need help, you can see either one of them. But they bought a brand new home. Brother Hinton uses VA loan, which is a loan that there's lots of vets out here. They don't utilize it, right? But it's one of the easiest loans to use to get a home. Brand new. I believe it's their first home too. Brand new. You know, everybody can't start out like that, okay? But they were able to, they could afford it.
Praises be to Allah.
All right, just some of our friends. Once again, another vet utilizing his VA loan. Happy to get them into a home. Ah, man. So this family, so mom and dad helped out with a gift to help them get them into their first home, right? And they brought their children there, right? Even though children are very young, they brought their children to learn about the home buying process. They brought their children everything with the home buying. They brought their children, right? And this is important to do. We can't just tell our children, our young adults, what to do. We have to show them, right? We have to show them. So this was the whole team came. A lot of the team came for the closing.
Wonderful.
You know this brother?
Hey,
Yay! So brother Tony, right on this side, I helped him sell his condo in the Miami area. Yes, I flew from Tampa. I flew to Miami.
Our brother
right?
do house calls.
Right? And I helped stage his house, right? I literally physically helped my brother move furniture out, move furniture around. We actually went and bought some furniture to put in because he didn't have enough furniture, right? And basically, by the time I put it on the market, they didn't even recognize the house.
Wow.
Right? They didn't recognize, like, they literally like, this is our condo? Yeah, this is your condo. Right? Brother Tony was actually offered about $85,000 for that condo. Luckily, he did not sign the contract. I was able to, I think we end up selling it for like $150,000.
Wow.
Yep.
Almost twice.
Almost twice, right? And so this it pays to get a professional.
Right. Absolutely.
You're gonna have to get the most money. Last one. Once again, Brother Hakeem and Sister Tamika. Brother Hakeem and Sister Tamika are the first registered Muslims that I helped buy a house.
Oh, wow.
The first registered Muslims, right? When they moved down from Memphis down to Tampa. And I mean, this is a beautiful picture. They look good. Don't they look good?
They look beautiful.
They look
yes.
Great. And I actually helped them purchase the house that they were actually renting. They came down here, they rented in Tampa. Then they said, you know what, we like where we're at. We want to get a home in this area. And I actually helped them buy the house they were actually renting from the landlord.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's rare.
That's very rare. That's very rare.
Usually the landlord wants too much money for the house.
Right. Right.
But this landlord was reasonable. And now they have lots of equity in that house now. Lots of equity.
Praises be to Allah.
That's it. I hope that inspired everyone.
Yes.
Right? That helps us get over the impediments. That helps us give us some faith when we have an example in front of us. And there were 700 examples today in Central Florida.
Right.
Just
in Central Florida.
Just today. Just in Central Florida.
You know, and the beautiful thing is Sister Maya definitely specified that she definitely needs your help. And I know that she's in the Miami area. You know, just to close out, again, his information is at the bottom of the screen. And guess what? The beautiful thing, the beautiful thing is his wife is a real estate agent. So they look at that song, you know, I love music, but that tag team back again, they're a tag team, you know what I'm saying? So what beautiful, you know, orchestration that not only Brother Michael is a real estate agent, but his wife is also, and his son. I mean, it's like a family affair. So I mean, I encourage you all, you know, to, you know, just get in contact with our brother, man, so he can help you all out. We
got 13 realtors on the team. We got it covered.
13 realtors.
And growing. I'm looking for somebody in Jacksonville. I'm looking for somebody that I can call in Jacksonville and be
I
like,
don't
listen,
know, you
a
know.
teammate out in Jacksonville to help service you.
Right, exactly.
Listen, give me a call if you're that person.
Come on.
Give me a call. I'm looking for a real estate professional. You know, someone to be a real estate professional. But
To be a real estate, and again, brother said that he got his real estate license in 10 days.
10 days.
Okay.
10 days.
You know, and keep in mind that, you know, real estate, you know, school is just basically what it is. It's no excuse not to go to school.
Mhm.
School will accommodate you if you go,
Mhm.
right? So regardless of, because brother, you know, Michael, you know, it took him 10 days. It
Mhm.
might take you less, or it might take you more. But if you're
Mhm.
interested in the opportunity, because why not have a career into the realest thing that is on this planet? It's the reason why it's called real estate, because it's real. It's something that
That's
you
right.
can hold on to, and nobody can take it from you, unless of course you
Mhm.
give it to them. But it ain't nothing that has real in front of it as it
Mm.
relates to what you claim that you may own.
That's
Think
right.
about it.
That's right.
Unless you got your, you know, real hair wear, but real estate, you know what I mean? So again, reach out to our brother. His information is at the bottom. And I just want to brother Michael, if you could just close us out with just something just for us to take home and take it to the bridge.
Absolutely. So first of all, Sister Maya, I don't see a text from you yet. My number's on the bottom.
All right, Sister Maya.
207-5374.
All
Right?
right, Sister Maya.
518-207-5374. My phone rings all the time, right? Because, you know, business is the activity of life.
That's
right. So let us heed our instructions. Let's move out. We already have our instructions.
That's right.
We already have our instructions.
Right.
Let's just move out. Let's conquer the fear. Let's go through it. Let's not make any excuses. Let's not add a timeline. I'm going to get a house in 5 years. You said that 10 years ago, right? Get started today, right? Doing something for yourself and for your family and next generation, right? And
if you love your family, if you love your family,
that's right.
If you do not want your family, right? And if you don't want your family to suffer like you suffered,
yeah.
Why not let it start with you? And they can have that big old picture, like, you know, like they have with Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, and they have stories that they talk about because she set the foundation. Why would you not want to be a trendsetter for your foundation that you want to build?
I mean, this is critical to nation building, community building, right?
I agree.
First start with self, right? If we are homeowners individually, then I can say, you know what, man, it'd be nice to have a regional mosque that we own in Miami, and a school, in a shopping mall, you know what I mean? A grocery store, you know, we need 100,000, you know, to put down on it. You know what?
Right.
I got 200,000 worth of equity in my house.
Right.
I could take out 1,000.
Right.
Sister Khalil, you could take out 1,000.
Right.
Or we can end it real quick. Just get 10 believers that got 10,000 worth of equity in the house. Which, if you own a house, you got way more than 10,000 worth of equity in your house right now.
Right.
Boom, and invest it.
Beautiful.
Into our regional mosque, school, and business. Not give, invest.
Right. And you know, the beautiful thing, and I want to also share this too, that our dear brother Minister Nuri is a beautiful example of real estate. He has took the blueprint of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and made believers again.
That's right.
So hats off to you, Brother Nuri.
That's right. I looked at a video. I didn't speak to Brother Nero directly, but when they got their mosque, I looked at a video that he had.
Right.
And if you haven't seen it, check it out again. When they first get the mosque, and he talks about his story of he was just teaching, and basically, in a nutshell, someone came and donated, I believe, the building to them, right? But it was but see, we go into mystery God then. We go into mystery God then, right? If you listen to Brother Nori too, when after he says that, he also says that they had to get a loan and they had to get some money because they had to fix the building up.
Right.
So
4 times distance.
we can't go into mystery God thinking someone just gonna drop it in our lap. You know, they still had to put some of their hard-earned money, equity, leverage their credit, right? To make it happen, right? To go along with the donation. So we got to put some in. We got to put some in if we want to build our mosques.
Businesses,
etc. We need schools. We
definitely need schools. That's a whole nother topic within the topic.
My children are young adults. But, you know, what about my nieces and nephews, though? You know what I'm saying?
That's
my little nieces and nephews out there, my brothers and sisters' children, our children in the community. We still can build schools for them.
Right. Well, we're going to close it out with this. I don't know the saying that Brother Lau says, but in the spirit of Brother Lau, we are the 7th Region Coalition. I just want to let you all know, for those of you who are tuning in, we do have a Cash App. Our reality is real. Please, for those of you who are listening, please, if you would love to donate to our cause, that's our Cash App, and we'll be more than honored, even though we are doing things, you know, from the strength of the love and respect just to save lives. But we know that our platform that we are brought to you by, we're giving this information from, is not free. So for those of you who are interested in donating to us, please be kind to actually donate to us at our Cash App, which is $ 7th Region Coalition, and that is $ 7th Region Coalition. All right, but we're gonna close.
You put 50 on it.
Hey,
50 on it. Not 5, 50.
What they say? What they say? I'm trying to be hip. Oh, eat it up, eat it up, eat it up, eat it up. All right. Praises be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Michael.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored once again.
Yes, and we appreciate the knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And again, apply. Don't be afraid. And we are the 7th Region Coalition, and we're just here to save lives. And we leave you as we came in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.